What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Fire and Ferment. I'm Zach, and today we're gonna be building the biggest, baddest breakfast sandwich you've ever seen. We're talking biscuits made from sourdough discard, 2 kinds of bacon that were butchered from hogs over at my friends Caitlin and Luke's 5 Acre Farm. Check out their channel and give them a subscribe. And of course, their pasture-raised eggs with those deep orange yolks. And you know there's gonna be plenty of cheese. This isn't your standard bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich. This is breakfast turned up to 11. Let's get started. First up, the foundation, biscuits. We're going big, so these are not dainty tea biscuits. These are hefty sourdough discard biscuits, big enough to carry the load of everything else. So what we've got here is 2 cups of all-purpose flour, 1 tablespoon of baking powder, a half a teaspoon of baking soda, 1 teaspoon salt. I use Diamond Crystal kosher salt, highly recommended. A half a cup or 1 stick of unsalted butter. It has to be cold. 1 cup of sourdough discard. If you're not familiar with what sourdough discard is, check out my dedicated sourdough video next. It's gonna be linked up in the corner of the screen, plus I'll link it down below in the description. I go into a lot of detail of what sourdough discard is, so check that out if you have any questions. And a half a cup of cold buttermilk, plus more if needed. Start with your flour, baking powder, baking soda, and salt. Whisk all of that up. Now comes the most important part, the butter. It's gotta be cold, straight from the fridge. Some folks even freeze it and grate it in, but today, I'll just cube it up into really fine cubes. I'm gonna throw these cubes of butter back in the freezer, just so they chill up a little bit and keep their form. So those butter cubes have had a chance to hang out in the freezer for about 10 minutes, which lets those cubes chill and keep their solid form. Now we just take those butter cubes and we throw them in our flour mixture. Now cut it in. You can use a pastry cutter or just your fingers. The trick is, don't overwork it. Pinch and rub the butter into the flour until you've got pea-sized chunks. You don't want it too fine. Those little chunks are what give you flaky layers when they steam in the oven.
Yep, that right there is about what we're going for.
Now pour in the sourdough discard and buttermilk. Stir until it just comes together. You want to still have a shaggy dough, not smooth. Remember, over-mixing makes tough biscuits.
Yeah, so the upper part is just starting to mix up. It's still pretty shaggy up here. Down below, we've still got some dry ingredients. So I'm gonna show you what I'm about to do with those dry ingredients and then what we have here on top. So we're literally just gonna dump this out and hold the dough by hand. And then all these dry ingredients that are still on the bottom, we're gonna use those to essentially flour our work surface here. And we're gonna plop that dough down. Now this part's key. We're gonna fold it over itself a few times, just like we're stacking layers. That's how you build those tall, fluffy poles when you crack them open. Now as we knead this down, we are picking up some of that dry ingredient on the bottom. It's essentially just helping make sure this doesn't stick to our board. And we're just gonna keep doing this until it all starts coming together even more. Now we don't wanna knead it smooth. We want it to still be pretty shaggy on the outside. Just like 9 or 10 gentle pulls, and then we'll stop. So now we're gonna flatten this dough ball out to about 2 inches thick. So now that we've rolled this down to about 2 inches thick, we wanna cut out a couple of rounds with a 32-ounce wide mouth mason jar. We'll just form this last one into a biscuit-sized dough ball. Yeah guys, so these are gonna be monsters. These are gonna puff up real big. And no, you don't need to let them rise. Biscuits rely on the baking powder, baking soda, and the steam. No yeast involved. We wanna go straight into a hot oven, 450 degrees, for about 15 minutes until golden and tall. So guys, while we're preheating, these biscuits do create quite a bit of their own steam due to the moisture content. But just to aid in the steaming process, I do have a water pan that I'm gonna add here at the bottom. And we're gonna let that heat up while the oven preheats. So next up, we're just gonna get a cookie sheet, line it with parchment paper, and throw these biscuits on there to bake. All right, so we're gonna throw these in the oven.
And they're gonna bake for about 15 minutes. All right, 15 minutes. Let's grab these. Oh yeah. Look at those brown, buttery, beautiful biscuits. Next up, the bacon, courtesy of Luke and Caitlin's Hogs at 5 Acre Farm. This stuff is thick, meaty, and absolutely gorgeous. I'm actually doing 2 versions for contrast. First one, classic, crisp, and smoky. Just let it render low and slow until golden and perfect. Second batch, we're going glazed. We're gonna let these ones cook pretty much all the way through. Before we brush them with some maple syrup. Put on some freshly cracked black pepper, as well as a pinch of chili flakes. Sweet, spicy, and smoky. It's like bacon candy. These 2 different styles of bacon are really gonna add some good texture, crunchiness, smokiness, and flavor to these breakfast sandwiches. We gotta take these off and put them on a plate with some paper towels to drain. All right, so these regular ones are looking pretty crispy, just about done. So we'll take those off. And we'll give our maple pepper bacon slices a flip. Then we'll go ahead and paint the back sides of these with our maple syrup. We just want to infuse all that sweet flavor. Then we'll go back over with our freshly cracked black pepper and our red chili flakes. Smelling so good, guys. Yeah, so we just let that maple syrup cook on there. It really becomes like spicy bacon candy. Tell me that doesn't look absolutely ridiculous. Just so sticky and gooey. Okay, so we have our regular bacon here. We have our spicy bacon candy here. And now, the crown jewel. These are Luke and Caitlin's pasture-raised eggs. We're gonna scramble up 8 of these. Gotta add in a fresh pour of whole milk. So we want to whisk basically just until the streaks start to disappear. Just look at that color. It's like liquid gold. For this beast, I like soft scrambled. Here's how. We need to clean off our griddle. Okay, time for a little scrapey scrape. Put on a cast iron skillet. We want medium-low heat, lots of herb-infused ghee in the pan. I've linked my herb-infused ghee recipe video down in the description below. Get all that ghee spread out around the pan. Pour in the eggs and don't rush. Gotta add in some salt. A couple pinches will do. And some freshly cracked black pepper. Stir really gently, pushing them around so they cook into creamy folds. You'll want to pull them off the heat before they look done. They'll finish off with the residual heat. Now we're gonna shower some cheese in. We're gonna go in with extra sharp cheddar for some bite. And a few slices of smoked provolone for melt. Oh yeah, eggs hug the cheese, cheese hugs the eggs. That's the good stuff. All right, it's time to build this monster. Split a giant biscuit. Pile on cheesy scrambled eggs. Add a layer of classic crispy bacon. More eggs. Layer of maple pepper bacon. Another sprinkle of cheese for good measure. And we're gonna hit it with a drizzle of fermented honey garlic as well. If you're interested in making this, I've got a recipe video for this linked below in the description as well. Cap it with the biscuit top. I don't know if this thing's a sandwich or a construction project. This thing's like 6 inches tall. So you're gonna wanna hold it with both hands. Okay, here goes. That biscuit is tangy and flaky. The eggs are creamy with that cheesy pull. Then you get that 1-2 punch of smoky bacon and maple pepper bacon.
Sweet, salty, spicy, this sandwich has it all. Every single bite's a new combo. I am not ashamed to say I'm definitely gonna eat this whole thing. Massive thanks to Luke and Caitlin over at 5 Acre Farm for the eggs and the bacon. I couldn't have done it without them. If you enjoyed this, be sure to comment down below and tell me, what would you put on the ultimate breakfast sandwich? And I'll catch you next time, hopefully after a nap, because I'm about to go into a full-on breakfast coma.
And that is how we make the ultimate breakfast sandwich at Fire and Ferment. If you like this type of content and you want to see more of it, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and click on that little bell icon so you don't miss any new content. I love you guys, and stick around.